Alright, welcome back today, guys. Today, look, the dump truck started right off on this lovely 20-degree morning. And look, it's at least a 4-pack a day. But anyways, so you see that pile of hay sitting over there? So we're going to take that hay and we're going to go this morning while it's still cold and the ground has a hard crust on it for today when it gets sloppy and wet. We are going to go out in our fields and distribute that hay in washouts. Because we don't have a manure spreader, we just take the dump truck, we put it in there, and then we take a front end loader around and dump it out, then level it off with the front end loader. Which makes me very sad, because that means we get to use our new tractor, which is going to be really fun, but then we're going to get it dirty, which is going to make me sad. So we better take one last look at it of it being clean before we use it. Can you guys see where we're going? Maybe I should turn the wipers on. Are these it? I don't think this thing has a defroster in it. I don't even think this thing has a heater in it. Luckily, under parent supervision, I was able to look out the window and see where I was going. Because if I looked out the windshield, I probably would have smacked the Pioneer. So sad. Gotta take it out of the shed. Good morning. We're going to take a little trip with our grain truck, dump truck. Y'all see where we're going? You're going to have to do like me. You're going to have to hang your head out the window for a minute. Let's see. Let's find the defroster. There it is. It seems to be out of order. Here we go. Yeah, better put your coat on, your hood. It's going to be a little chilly. It's only about 25 this morning. Since it's cooler this morning, we think we can get the truck out into the field so that we can fill up some washouts that are happening with the 4-inch downpour. Hold tight to your left-hand side. And hope you don't hit anything on the right hand side because you can't see over there. Oh, there goes. There's your sunrise through the clouds.
My hands are tied and you resonate inside my bones. Don't know why I'm incapable while you're unstoppable. Some big black clouds.
Tell them about your very, very fun ride you had on the way down here?
No.
Okay, I'll go show them then.
It was fine. It wasn't that bad. There I stopped dumping because we were on the edge of the gully. And we still had a full load in there, so I didn't want it to tip over. No, officer. I was only going 10. No, I was going 20. How fast were we going?
Alright, so we finished spreading out the hay in our fields and filling in washouts and the low profile tractor. It did it. I'm not going to say it did great. I'm going to say it did good for what it is. It had a little bit of traction issues, but that's some stuff we can adjust later. But now we are moving on to our next project, and this may be a little bit of a big one. So, right here, you see this power line that runs power to our shop? Well, this pole, we'll take a closer look at it. How about that? I don't know if you can see it there, but there's nothing left there, and it's quite at an aggressive angle going that way. So KU said once we got past that transformer over there, which is on that pole over there, the big one, anything from that transformer all the way to our shop, we are responsible for. So they said that sucks to be you pretty much. So we are going to redo this, but we are going to put our power line underground.
The power line has started to sag. Combine, you have to watch with the backhoe.
1486.
1486. But anyway, you can see the pole leaning. And so we've got, the main project is to put the power underground, which we've ordered the wire, we're getting our stuff together. But there's so many other things tied into this that it's not just digging the trench and putting the wire in the ground. You see the cable going there, that goes to the barn that we're cleaning out, the old hog barn. And that pole is leaning, but it's holding this pole back from falling. And we need to dig out the front to get into the pit to finish filling it, cleaning it out. But we can't get rid of that pole, because if we get rid of that pole, this pole's gonna fall, and then we won't have power. And so that's holding that project up. And then here, when we run our cable in, we're coming underground, so we got to cut our sidewalk. We're going to put a new breaker box in, and we got to cut a hole in our sidewalk to run the conduit up out of the ground. Well, we plan on putting concrete in the barn, and when we do, we're going to bring the apron out to match the sidewalk. And so when we do that, the water, we plan on having it where it'll hit it and drain off to the sides. Well, there's a drainage tile that runs from the corner of the barn to right here, which has gotten covered up. But right where this green grass spot is where it's at. But everything's washed off, so we've got to put a new drainage tile in, because it's going to be over the conduit, because it's going to be lower. So the conduit has to go in, and then the drainage tile, since we're going to have everything dug up. But then when we get over here with the drainage tile, more than likely we are going to dig into that water line that runs to that faucet, the one that we wanted to put a shutoff valve in right here.
Remember?
So
this is the water line we worked on when the cold weather snap came, that one that snapped in half.
yeah, so we're probably going to find it whether we want to or not. And so we might as well go ahead and put a shutoff valve in it here, back up and dig out at the end of the concrete and put a riser in and put a shutoff valve, and then take our tile on out. So to get this one project done, we've got conduit, drain line, water line, and then once we get the power ran to both, then we're going to cut the breaker, because it's got a breaker in the bottom of that meter base, so that's past the meter. Oh, and also we've got, how many meters do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 meters between all 3 farms, and every one of them, they used to have the old dials on them that you had to read. Well, now all of them except one are the electric ones, where they just have to get close to them and it reads them. Except that one is not an electric one. So we plant that, then I guess starting about July I start getting letters saying they can't read my meter. So we just let it go till harvest, because guess what? This barn's been here, I guess, for the last 10 years. The bill has not varied $5 in over 10 years, so it's not that hard to estimate what the bill is going to be. You know, you look at the history of it, it's not like all of a sudden we're going to use a bunch of power here. So they're gonna have to put an electric meter in. I gotta call them to put one, or the electric reading one. That way they can just drive up here and it'll read, and they don't have to worry about what's planted there. But that's gonna be the fun thing, because that's overhead. And so we've got a couple ideas of how we're gonna drop that line and not rip it out of the pole up there and rip the pecker head and rip everything off down here. Oh, and then we also had to move our outdoor light. This one little project has got a bunch of little fingers tied to it that's going to take a lot longer to do.
Alright, so on this backhoe, it is what it is in a way you could say. It's very useful to us, but it's not brand new. So as you can see right here, here is a better up view, the oblong circle. This is what we mean by it's not brand new. It is quite used. That is a bushing, and the people who had it before we owned it, I guess they took a washer and welded it to the outside to try to keep the pins from moving so much. Do you have any other words to say?
It works for us. Got a little clay in the boom. Now granted, we could fix a lot of this stuff. We could take and cut that off, and we talked about we could machine a bushing and weld to the outside, make some longer pins, but we use this thing like 10 hours a year. I mean, really? It is what it is. It works for us. Everybody's got that piece of equipment, and that's what this is. There's no need of putting a bunch of money into it, because we use it 20 hours. Have we ever used it? Maybe. I don't think we've ever even used it 20 hours in a year.
I'm back. I took a little bit of time off with the editing and all that, just because it can end up being a lot once you do 3 videos a week. After I posted the new tractor video, I took a few nights off. A few nights is a couple videos, almost. But anyways, as you can tell, I'm back now. As you saw, the new tractor's out and about. Showed a little bit of our future projects, and even some of our very wore out equipment. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope they enjoy it. Remember, faith, family, farm. See you in the next one.